Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Rome, there lived a man named Lucius. Lucius was not a wealthy man, nor was he poor. He had enough to live comfortably, yet he was never satisfied. Every day he would walk through the marketplace, gazing at the fine silks, the golden jewelry, and the exotic fruits from distant lands. He wanted them all. His heart ached with desire, and no matter how much he acquired, it was never enough. One evening, as Lucius sat alone in his small home, he felt a deep weariness in his soul. He had spent years chasing after things, riches, status, pleasures, yet he felt emptier than ever. That night he had a dream. In his dream, he saw an old man sitting beneath a great oak tree. The man had a calm face, his eyes filled with wisdom. Lucius approached him and asked, "Why am I never happy? Why does my heart always crave more?" The old man smiled gently and said, "You suffer because you desire. Desire is the root of all your pain." Lucius was confused. "But isn't desire natural? How can I live without wanting things?" The old man replied, "It is not the world that hurts you, but your attachment to it. The more you crave, the more you suffer." The Stoics knew this truth well. They taught that freedom comes not from possessing more, but from needing less. Lucius woke with a start. The words lingered in his mind. He decided to seek out a Stoic philosopher to learn more. After days of searching, he found a teacher named Marcus, a follower of the great Stoic thinkers like Seneca and Epictetus. Lucius told Marcus about his dream and his endless desires. Marcus listened patiently and then spoke. "Imagine you hold a cup," he said. "If you cling to it tightly, fearing it might break, you suffer even before anything happens. But if you hold it loosely, knowing it is just a cup, its loss does not trouble you. Desire works the same way. When you cling to things, people, or outcomes, you give them power over your peace." Lucius frowned. "But how can I stop desiring? It feels impossible." Marcus nodded. "It is not about stopping desire completely. It is about understanding it. The Stoics teach that some things are within our control, and some are not. Your desires often focus on what you cannot control, external things, the opinions of others, the future. But what you can control is your mind, your judgments, your action." He continued, "Think of a ship at sea. The sailor cannot control the wind, but he can adjust the sails. In life, you cannot control what happens, but you can control how you respond. When you desire something, ask yourself, is this within my power? If not, then your suffering comes from resisting reality." Lucius spent months studying with Marcus. He learned to examine his desires before acting on them. He asked himself, "Why do I need this, or do I merely want it? Will this bring lasting happiness, or just fleeting pleasure?" Slowly, he began to let go. One day, as he walked through the marketplace again, he noticed something strange. The same goods were there, the silks, the jewels, the fruits, but they no longer called to him as they once did. He felt no pull, no restless craving. Instead, he felt free. He returned to Marcus and said, "I think I understand now. Desire is like a fire. If you feed it, it grows and consumes you. But if you let it be, it fades. I no longer suffer because I no longer cling." Marcus smiled. "You have learned well. The Stoics did not say we should have no desires at all. They said we must desire wisely, to seek virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. These things cannot be taken from you." From that day on, Lucius lived differently. He still worked, still enjoyed life's simple pleasures, but he no longer chased after them with desperation. When difficulties came, and they did, I faced them with calm, knowing that suffering came not from the events themselves, but from his resistance to them. Years passed, and Lucius grew old. One evening, as he sat beneath an oak tree, a young man approached him. The young man looked troubled, his eyes filled with restless longing. "Sir," he said, "I see you sitting here so peacefully. How is it that you are not burdened by worries as I am?" Lucius smiled, remembering his own journey. He gestured for the young man to sit and began to tell him a story. A story about desire, suffering, and the wisdom of letting go. And so the lesson continued, passed from teacher to student as it had for centuries. Because the truth remains, desire binds us, but understanding sets us free. The more we cling, the more we suffer. The more we let go, the more we find peace. This is the Stoic way. Not a life without desire, but a life where desire does not rule us. Where we recognize that the root of suffering is not in the world, but in our own hearts, and that the path to peace begins with mastering ourselves. The young man listened, and though he did not fully understand, a seed was planted. Perhaps one day he too would see that the things he chased were never the source of happiness. That true contentment comes not from having everything, but from needing very little. And so the cycle continues as it always has, and always will. For as long as hearts yearn and minds cling, the wisdom of the Stoics will remain, a light in the darkness, showing the way to freedom. The end.